Hey you guys, I'm back with another video. Now, before we get into this video, I am actually just offloading all of the content that I got a chance to record this prom season. And what's super cool about this video is I actually tried out a horsehair technique that I saw on Instagram, and I wanted to record it. However, I did not get a chance to record the first part, so I'll just talk you through what I did, which is pretty simple. And I did include the time lapse in the beginning, so if you are watching this video, make sure you just go back, actually watch what it was that I did. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you want to see more bespoke or, you know, plus size related content. But I started with this horsehair braid technique. Again, I saw it from some designer on the explore page of Instagram, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try this out or whatever. So what I started with was some E6000 glue, and I had some tan or nude horsehair that I got from Rosa Fabrics here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I actually started with some rhinestone that I got for Fine Fabrics here. And I just took that rhinestone trim and I glued it all the way across the top. So that is what you'll be seeing in the first time lapse of the first part of the video. Now, getting here where it actually got special, or at least to me, right? I started to pleat down the horsehair, especially once my E6000 dried up. And I got to pleating down the horsehair. And honestly, you guys, I didn't know how this was going to come out. But I wanted to kind of show you guys where I was and how you kind of build to get to the ideas that you want to get to. So this right here is the gold base for my client's prom dress. And honestly, I am doing this design kind of in that prerequisite way where I can send her a picture of it to get her final approval. Now, is that normally how I would operate? Not necessarily, but I do feel like when you're spending or your client is spending a certain amount of money, they should absolutely have, you know, approval or whatever when it comes to the gown, even if you don't knock off, you don't copy or whatever. So my goal with her was, let's try something different, see if she likes it. If not, then we'll go back to the drawing board or find something that's closer to her inspiration. So that's what I did with this garment. It was one of those looks where I honestly was praying that the client liked it. You know, I was trying something for the first time, and it actually didn't end up being the case, but we'll get to that later on. So now, once I get to pleating up the horsehair, I showed you guys my base. I have some additional, notions that I'm going to be using onto the gown. I also went to Hobby Lobby and I got the 3D pieces that they had that's already on the wire. And so my goal with this entire gown, especially that 3D design, was just to try to create something new. My client was very open to the whole, you know, I don't copy, I can only accept the inspiration picture to be inspiration. But baby, when I tell you, it still ended up being one of those things where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is driving me insane. So the supplies I'm going to be using is E6000 glue. I use my Gorilla glue sticks and my glue gun. And that was really all I pretty much needed for this project. Now, of course, if you're going to decide to record, you want to have your stuff prepped. But honestly, a lot of the times when I record you guys, it's at the last minute. So now what I'm doing is just tacking down my pleated horsehair. And again, I've only put it up to the gown, but I don't necessarily know how it's going to lay. And from the picture or inspiration that I was going off of, I believe that it will have to be pleated into place, sort of, kind of. So if you're going to try this design, this pleating it on the table was kind of like a prerequisite to what you still may have to pleat or hand tack on your fabric. So just kind of be mindful of that. So I'm using my basting thread. Again, just pleating it down, and you want to make sure you tie your stitches as tight as possible, because you guys know at any hint or sight of movement, things pop on these girls. And so for me, basting thread for me is going to be the Marmar Tex 70, TEX 70. It's a thicker basting stitch thread. I like it. I think it's amazing. And I usually don't have many issues when I use that. It is not something that you can necessarily sew with unless it's leather or something, but it is a great thread. I would suggest using something like that, especially when you are, doing a lot of handwork. So another thing that I started to do on here was hot glue some of the flowers. These are the 3D pieces that I got from Hobby Lobby. Y'all, when I tell you, I honestly wish I would have just hand sewn it from the beginning. The actual glue left this weird, nasty, grainy glue look in the back. And so even though I was using it on this, I did discover that it's not really something that I would want to use. So I would say that if this is going to be a design that you have to hand tack, or you're going to have to use a glue that takes a little longer to dry, I use this hot glue gun because it was easier. It dries faster. In a better day, I would have probably tried to use E6000 or whatever, which I did use to start. But when I recognized it wasn't drying as fast as I wanted to, I moved to something else. However, I didn't like the residue that it left behind. So that's something that you definitely want to think about before you just glue on. If the residue, the grainy look of the glue doesn't bother you, then baby, use it, because I just did what I had to do. So now I'm actually pinning this to the base of my dress. You guys, anything you do in your design is always going to start with a good base. I feel strongly about that. And so what I did was kind of pin it to the dress at the top baseline, neckline, so I can honestly just see if I'm feeling it, if I like it. And this is all while understanding that this is something that has to be built. Something that has to be built. The entire time while I was doing this gown, it was giving trust the processes. I wanted to literally scream because I'm like, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But at some point, I got to a space where I loved it. And I got to a space where I would try it again. And that's really the whole objective when you're trying something new. You don't want to do something to the point where you hate it. You want to do it to the point where you get it right enough to at least try again, especially if it can develop some new looks and ideas for yourself. And so for me, I definitely see some really nasty bespoke gowns with this technique, but this was my way of kind of trying it out to see if it would work. So now these are literally multiple 3D pieces that I got from Hobby Lobby. This is going to be in the his and her section of the bridal area, okay? These pieces are probably like $2.99. They come on a wire stem. You can get pearls, you can get beads, you can get feathers, you can get flowers. It's just whatever they are offering. And if you're pretty creative, you can use that to your advantage. So I actually bought a lot of gold related stuff that I think I would like to use. And then those super big 3D gold pieces, I actually got those from Fine Fabric. Again, all I knew in this process was that I was building, and honestly, it was giving, girl, what the hell, okay? But there was still a part of me that was like, okay, you saw something that inspired you, just try it out and see if you get to the finish line. So that was the whole goal here. And you honestly just see me on the camera trying to get to the finish line. Don't know if it's ugly. Don't know if y'all think it's ugly. And damn sure don't know if my client is going to think it's ugly. But guess what? I'm still doing it because it's just something I got to get out of my system. And based on what I'm actually doing here, I figured out a better way to already do it. So that's the whole goal. All right? So right here, I'm just literally hand tacking, turning, twisting as many 3D pieces as possible. Your girl is tired. So this is pretty much where I am right now. I was talking to y'all, but I actually decided to do a voiceover because, Again, this whole process is about honestly trusting yourself. You do have to have those secret, or not even secret, but those people, designers, other designers that you could confide in about your designs. And I honestly had just that. And what I did was just try first before I even asked anybody else's their opinion. And then once I tried, got it to where I thought, okay, let me see if I'm onto something or not. Then I actually sent my pictures out, videos out to get other designers' opinions to see how they felt. So the beautiful part about design, honestly, is just trying. And you never know if you're going to have a win or not. Now, what's funny about this is, y'all, my client actually did not like this design. It was very much, this is a prom dress, by the way, and what I was dealing with is, of course, being inspired, wanting to do something one way, and them, obviously, I got this design, this idea, this thing in my head, this is what I see, and so I actually ended up going back to the drawing board, but I actually was loving what was happening here. Do y'all see that? I actually got my life, and I was just over here like, girl, it don't get more original than this, but if you want me to do something else, I'll do something else. And so I actually ended up having to go to the drawing board, but I was super excited I got a chance to record this for you guys, because guess what? No risk, no reward. You don't know. You guys might see it, try it, and actually fuck it up in a great way where you actually get the win, you get your client's approval. And that's honestly what this whole season has been for me, trying things out that are unfamiliar, literally going against the grain, trying my best to be inspired by my own work and whatever that looks like in my head. And so I want to encourage you all to do the same. I'm super excited about where we are in this journey, and I have so much content that I've honestly just been recording for you guys, and I'm just in the space right now where I'm ready to release it. So I hope you guys are actually taking the time to listen to the voiceovers, because they actually bear more fruit than some of the stuff that you're seeing. And if you guys are feeling this content, this was actually my only small dress for the whole season, y'all. My only small dress. Most of you guys know I do plus size specifically. So it's always exciting when I can do a good little 2-4, to see if I still got some of them straight size, techniques that they taught us. But this actually ended up being a win. Now, I am going to show you guys how I ended up actually doing the final design for this. So if you guys want to see it, make sure you drop a comment down below. Again, my whole journey right now is just sharing with you guys, and I'm hoping that even just what I'm willing to share will get me to my own goals or whatever. So that's just where we are. Super excited. Again, thank you all for checking out this video. This is my prom. I recorded, and I wanted to give it to you as plain, simple, and as raw as possible. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and drop a comment down below if you want to see more content from us. I'll see you next time. Bye.